Hey there everybody, I'm C-Show and welcome to the first episode of my Let's Play Elder Scrolls Online. So, our 5 days early access starts today, and we're just going to jump right in with a new character. I'll be doing this series just a little bit differently than my other ones. My play sessions are going to be probably a couple of hours in length at least. But I will be segmenting the videos into about 20 to 30 minutes roughly, depending on where good cutoff points are. So you don't have to sit there and worry about watching all of them at once. Unless you really want to, in which case they'll be in playlist format, so no worries there. So, I thought about it a little bit for who I want to be on my recorded episodes, and I'm thinking most likely going to go with... I'm wanting to try Dragonknight for this. Race-wise, I'm thinking High Elf. Let's see. We want somebody with decent magic regen for this specifically. Yeah, let's go with the High Elf. All right. And then our alliance. As part of our pre-order bonus, we get to play as any alliance in any faction. You will also notice that I bought the Imperial Edition, so you see here that I could choose to play as an Imperial if I wanted to, but probably won't do that for this guy. Alright, so... decisions. I think for the sake of people that don't end up pre-ordering, I'll go ahead and do the Aldmeri Dominion, that way it all lines up pretty well. Alright, we're gonna go with the Dragonknight. Okay. And we're gonna want this guy to be pretty beefy overall. Alright, fairly tall. I think there's a particular body marking on the High Elf that I really like. That's close. I'm pretty sure, yeah. No, I don't think that's what I'm looking for. This is one that I do actually like quite a bit. I might go with this, we'll see. Let's see if I can find another one that I like. Alright, yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. I like the way that one looks. I've noticed a lot of the armors in this game, even some of the heavier armors, they tend to leave little gaps in certain places where it makes some of these markings visible, so in a way it's kind of nice like that. Alright, let's go torso size, right about there. Yeah, there we go. Chest size, yeah. Alright. There we go. For the most part, I'm just beefing him up all the way, but he's going to be pretty tanky overall. At least that's what I'm hoping. We'll see how that works out. And the zoom in doesn't appear to be working. I'm not sure. Sounds like our sound settings might be just a smidge low. Let's try just a little bit louder. Yeah, we'll try that one. Also, for the most part, I don't intend on cutting anything out particularly. If I'm doing anything tedious, I will drop an annotation so that you guys can just skip ahead to back whenever I'm actually doing something. So for instance, if I stop to farm materials or something like that for crafting, then I will probably put a skip in there for that. It would sure help if our zoom in button was working well. It's hard to see some of this stuff. Yeah, I don't think we want a head marking. And personally, I don't typically mess a whole lot with the facial sliders. Looks like the cheek's a little bit weird. And I just lost my cursor. There we go. That was strange. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it like that. Alright. I'm not really sure why their zoom in button isn't working. It worked just fine during the beta. Alright. Like I said, I don't really mess with most of this stuff. Typically, I'm not super picky about the face as long as it's nice looking by default. But I think we're ready to get going, so I'll let you guys see. Sorry about that. Dog decided he was going to go crazy for a second. I'm not sure exactly what level they expect you to have something like this. I assume since it's veteran that's your level 50 gear. Since after you're level 50 you start getting veteran levels, so I can only assume that's what this is supposed to be. This right here, is essentially the armor you can craft almost right away, honestly. Alright, let's take into Tamriel. Alright.
How do you feel?
Looks like we have our pre-order bonuses in the mail. But they're not showing up yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's not that important. Let's see, let me make sure that a couple of controls are ready to go. go.
Slowly now. You've been through an ordeal. Take a few moments to collect yourself. Like you, I am a prisoner in this place. Yet so much more. I am the past and the future, both. I am despair and hope. You must rescue me, and I
Probably
in turn
not
must
going
rescue
to
you. You must escape from this.
let them read through all the stuff. I will give it a second, just so that you guys probably have time to read it and everything.
You there? We are
But
escaping. Let me open your
if I
door.
sat there and listened to every single NPC of these
That's
videos,
it.
it'd be
Quickly. You must
far
escape
too
before the
long.
guards return.
Quickly, follow Urgesine. There are weapons in the
Alright,
forge
so
over these cells.
if you're
Armor
not sure
cells.
what's going on at this point, if you haven't played it before, essentially your soul has been captured by the evil necromancer Manimarco and sent to Cold Harbour, which is the Daedric Prince Molag Bal's Oblivion realm, essentially.
Don't be greedy. We have a lot of
Okay, here we go. I feel like the last they've done some changes to the tutorial area since they did right before the last beta. I know you might be wondering why I'm a Dragon Knight and getting a staff, but that's just the way I'm gonna roll with it, so.
An enemy approaches.
But essentially,
Strike it down.
the realm of Cold Harbour is Molag Bal's Daedric realm, and he has pretty much taken over certain parts of Tamriel using his
Do not slow
dark
distance.
anchors.
With the passing of time, any indecision
These-
becomes decision.
I'll explain a little bit more on those later. They're not super important at this point. You'll see one during the tutorial even.
Another enemy blocks the path ahead. Dispatch it quickly.
Alright. Just clear these guys out. You can go up and interrupt him, but there's not really much point. I can just step out of the way.
Whoa there! Are you alright? Hurt fighting.
We are gonna need lots of magicka. And as far as our first skill goes, we're gonna go with a knockdown. Maybe let's check it out. Yeah, we're gonna go with a knockdown first. This ability right here is pretty useful. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's a 3-second knockdown, so it's pretty nice.
You've got more meat on your bones than most of these poor bastards, and I see you've armed yourself. Good. A fellow prisoner. The name's Lyris. What? Who told you Prophet? He spoke to you? Ha. That sounds like the Prophet, all right. He's a prisoner here. Break him out, of course. Believe me, I can use all the help I can get.
Alright. Essentially, your soul's been captured and you're trying to escape. Whenever you manage to escape, you essentially are in a body with no soul.
We made it. Come. The Sentinel's magical con. I've no idea.
Alright. I will probably take a second or two here to loot if I see any chests or anything like that. Now the way leveling in this works is vastly different from Skyrim, for instance. You merely need to have a skill on your bar in order for it to be leveling. So, for instance, my Stonefish, you'll see, increased to rank 2, and the skill line that it is in also increased when I haven't even used it up till just then.
The Sentinels are connected.
That's not what I wanted. There we go. I'm just gonna flip off the general tab for this. see. There we go. Don't need any of that, honestly. Alright, so for the most part early on there's not going to be a whole lot of wandering about, especially for the tutorial. I know exactly where I'm going, so I'm just going to get it out of the way so we can keep going.
A god of brutality knows of your escape.
Oh no, my first death. What will I do? Ah, well, that works. Yeah, I believe in the fast approach for that part. There are no negatives for dying at that point yet, so why not jump?
Hermamora's wagging tongue. The door's warded. We'll never. Damn it! Destroy. Cadwell sees things.
Actually, something I didn't think to check. Let's see if they introduced the field of view slider yet. Well, it doesn't look like it, unfortunately. Personally, I just can't play in first person with their default field of view, so until they actually introduce a field of view slider, I'm probably going to be playing mostly in third person.
One fine day in the middle. Hello, what's this? Sir Cadwell, yes, indeed, a pleasure. Oh dear, well that is inconvenient, isn't it? Tell you what, I happen to know another, rather cautiously I expect. Watch your step, hold your nose, and do mind follow the river. You'll find the door to the Undercroft at the water's end. Best of luck. Do check in now and again, won't you?
Alright, so we're, I'd say almost about halfway through. Yes, control the sneak, not going to be doing that. So I'd say we're almost about halfway through right now. Nothing too difficult in this, honestly. If there was, then we'll probably just get frustrated,
This
but
place stinks of death.
this area right here is not too particularly hard. There's not a whole lot of enemies. Lockpicks, yes, I would love some lockpicks. You just gotta try to avoid the traps mostly. Let's see if there's any loot real quick. Ooh, a chest, there we go. Aha! Heavy armor, sweet. I was hoping we'd find some early on. There we go. That will help tremendously. Alright, we're gonna look for any more lockpicks real quick. I'm not gonna bother with most of the food items I don't need. I'm not gonna be doing that on this person. Yay, lockpicks. I'm all for those. Although honestly, I kind of feel like, hey, more heavy armor. I kind of feel like they decreased the amount of the locked chests in the world with the last beta. I could be wrong, but it just felt like I was finding a whole lot less in the last beta. Clever, clever trap. But you won't get me. Take a little bit of a shortcut here if we can. Maybe, ooh, chest, there we go. Maybe we'll find some more heavy armor. Nope. Oh well, we can sell that. We will be doing crafting as well. I'll do a little bit of a tutorial on that, or at least blacksmithing and woodworking to make myself armor and staves. But aside from that, it's a little bit different from each one, but in general they're mostly the same. Alright, nothing else to loot here, so let's keep going. They have made some little tweaks and optimizations to the tutorial area. It's a lot smoother in my opinion now, a little bit better. The last boss fight before you leave is actually quite a lot better looking in my opinion.
Alright, the good news is we made it here in one piece, and the Prophet looks... I probably should have mentioned this before, but it never seemed like the right time. There's
oh no, Liz, don't do this.
I don't see anyone else here with a beating heart, do you? If Molag Bal isn't there,
yeah, sure, I'll
locking
keep him
devices on either
safe.
side of the cage. You need to deactivate both of them so I can begin the transfer.
Yay, I'm helping.
I give myself that the Prophet might be free!
Thank the divines.
And they never saw her again.
That is the name I have given you. That is what I've come to be. The anchors are Daedric machines of the darkest.
You are about to get to see a Daedric anchor in action, at least the tutorial one. It's nothing at all like the ones that you'll find in the overworld. It looks the same and everything, but the ones in the overworld are just a little bit more difficult, and they require at least a couple of people. They ramped up the difficulty of them with the last beta too, so you can't solo them anymore that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's probably somebody out there that will manage it. And when I say you can't solo it, that typically means that you can't solo it from... that typically means you can't solo it around the same level. I mean, obviously if you're a higher level, you'll probably be able to solo it. Not sure why it is attacking the ice and not him. Okay.
I am the face of pain. The souls of the damned are my weapons. You will know eons of suffering.
You're something, alright. Alright, let's do it. This guy right here is pretty friggin' awesome looking in my opinion. They made it pretty nice looking. Oh. Yep. When you get a lot of these larger enemies, you'll notice in the top right up there, knocking them down doesn't work. It does nothing. You can't knock them down, stun them, or anything like that. It's gonna generally be like that for bosses or other very large overworld enemies. So yeah, I am using that for some extra damage though because it's a quick cast. Oh, he got me anyway. That's okay. We can't really take damage for this, honestly. The heal is far more damage than they can do. Ah, there we go. Let's just get into the rhythm a little bit here, and finish this guy off. Alright, that's what I was wanting. My heavy armor to start increasing. That's why I'm glad that we found it so early.
The Dark Anchor's portal is high above us. I will prepare a spell to lift us to it. A shard of ethereal magicka that carries the essence of Nirn. Some linked into Lorcan, the missing god of creation. If you collect and absorb its power, it should restore. Shard of Imperius, call upon us now and anoint us with your blessing.
These sky shards here are pretty awesome. You find them all over the place in little hidden nooks and crannies. Essentially, get 3 of them, get a skill point. As you see right there in the corner with
Great
the tutorial.
Akatosh, dragon god of time, your children are lost in the fog between worlds. They cry out for mercy. Hear my voice, Akatosh. I require your strength. Let the way be opened. Let these wandering souls return home. Let the will of Molag Bal be denied. Hurry! We must go now!
Painful. Alright, so in the earlier betas there were tutorial islands. 2 different areas pretty much that you went to before you actually got here, which is your races or alliances for that matter, main starting area. The area that's much larger and much more explorable. So those areas still exist, but they are not gotten to that way anymore. You have to actually go back to them if you would like to do them. But most people didn't like them because they are very funneled. The experiences.
Once again. Come here.
Honestly, the experience was not overall pleasant for Elder Scrolls games. These starting areas that we're in now, they're much better in my opinion. You'll notice how much this is much larger. Those little starting islands were about this big, and you had to do the main quest to leave them.
As I feared, we arrived in different locations. I am in a city near the sea in a land of eternal spring. The air smells of the ocean and of days, weeks, I cannot tell. The voyage between worlds disrupt. I'm afraid you'll have to decide that for yourself. I must focus on searching for a way to repay Lyris's bold sacrifice. I cannot foresee that, not yet. But we will meet again.
Oh no, I'm not level 3. How will I open that?
Path. But perhaps there is a reason.
Oh look, I leveled. Ooh, we can already get our Molten Weapon skill. That didn't take long to get up to that point. But I'm not going to bother with that. I might start doing that later on once I get into more group-oriented content, but for this point, we're not going to focus on that. We could increase our armor bonuses, but I think we want to make sure... Well, this is the skill that I want right here, but we're not quite to that point yet. I think let's just go with our armor bonus. Now most of these bonuses like this, they increase more based on how much of that particular armor type you're wearing. You'll see my current bonuses are just 2% 3 spell resist, which is pretty much saying that we're only wearing 2 points of heavy armor, so. Like I've already said, I'm not going to do a ton of looting on the overworld. There's not. Most of that stuff is typically food, so nothing that we really want. Alright, let's get going.
I was worried you'd never wake up. You slept all the way from Khenarthi's roost, right through the hurricane. You don't remember? A Khajiit named Rezundar fished you out of the ocean.
Okay.
Made me pay a small
I was
fortune
gonna
to
say,
bring
I
you
think
here.
they might need to fix that
Barely
based
made
on
it
their
out of
changes,
Khenarthi's
but
roost
no, I
before
guess
the
they
hurricane. He was headed to
explained it a little
Eagle's
bit better.
Strand, an old fort on Khenarthi's roost. My ship won't return there for some time.
Okay, yeah, they explained it just a little bit better. I thought for a second there they were gonna leave a little gap there. Oh man, look at these gorgeous graphics. They may not be Skyrim quality graphics, but they're pretty nice in my opinion for an MMO. I mean, I've got everything on ultra high, so if you're not playing on ultra high, it might not look this good, but I don't know. I like the way it looks personally. Let's see, where do we want to go first?